So we set up today. One thing about this, it's gonna be hot. The Southwest is having a major heat wave. So it's gonna be about 120 in Phoenix. So see how far I can pound through, get as close as I can to that California border before the heat gets to me. Because if it gets hot enough, it's like a hairdryer on your skin. So the armor is now not protecting me from the wind. Yes, today I'm setting off from Show Low. Man, I never knew this place existed. It's up in the mountains, nice little town. A lot of hiking, outdoor stuff. I went kayaking on one of the lakes. Here, because the Southwest and there was a big drought, they had actually gotten a little rain almost every night. So it was funny to wake up in the morning or in the night in the tent and wake up and the ground to be wet, and you're like, I thought there was a drought. But it's 2 hours east of Phoenix-ish, and it's up elevated. So when Phoenix is 120, Show Low was in the 80s and got into maybe the low 90s. But you have all the water around you, all these like little lakes. They were concerned because there were some forest fires in the area, and during the day you could constantly see sometimes like helicopters flying off in the distance, because I think they designated one lake for them to actually dip their buckets in to get water to dump on the fires. But anyway, had to move off. I was hoping the heat wave would dissipate or end. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so I was going to have to cut through it. Penn State. I mean, just this whole road. This is 60, and you're just going through valleys. I mean, it's nice, cool weather so far. But I'm coming down in elevation. Solo is, well, almost like 7,000 feet up. Phoenix is what, sea level? That turns out to be about a 30-degree difference. So right now it's probably low 80s. So that means, oh God, for Phoenix. But just absolutely just adore this. Now, I didn't spend any time in this canyon, and I didn't really, well, I just drove through it. I rode through it. I'm sure you can stop and go off and probably spend a lot of time. They actually had signs here and there which just warned people who were going to go camp, because apparently it was a camp anywhere, so you could just stop and just hike into different areas and camp wherever you want. They just have big signs saying, no fires allowed whatsoever. Here I am, Salt River Canyon. Woo-hoo-hoo! I guess people probably died here. Dedicated father, this devoted man, blah, 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 blah. Road builder. Oh, okay. Just look at this scenery. I mean, this is, only where there's like, you're in the state with the Grand Canyon that this, like, practically nobody's heard of this. Whew! What a great ride. You can start to feel it. You can start to feel the heat. But you can actually see here, just zoom, zoom, zoom. Just the spectacular views, and just so much to see, so much to just enjoy, kind of going down the canyon. And what you're doing is you're just kind of going down in elevation. Not really, not really going up and down the hills too much. A little bit of that, but not too much. Just kind of coming down towards Phoenix. because one, I didn't know this canyon existed. And it's always fun to just bump into something you didn't know was around, and you could just discover it and really enjoy it. And that's what I really got out of this. It's just, you can just see the natural beauty of kind of this untouched landscape, and you can just enjoy it so much. There are a lot of stops and whatnots where you can kind of look at plaques or whatnot, and it would tell you different things about the local history. Most of the time I would like read them and say, like, oh, that's kind of interesting about some of the pioneers who kind of came through here. And then you promptly forget them in like a day or two unless you like recorded it or wrote it down. So, you know, that unfortunately a lot of the trips are like that. If you don't jot down these little stories, you tend to forget them. And I'm sure I forgot tons of them over these trips.
You can feel it. It is brutal in Phoenix. It's got to be at least 110, maybe 115. You can feel it. It is hot. So park in the shade where you can, especially when you're grabbing some like refuel. Just chug the water. Chug, 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 chug. But keep moving.
Now, when I finally would get to Phoenix, I would just kind of cut through Phoenix because I just wasn't really that interested in Phoenix to any degree of stopping there. I've stopped in Phoenix before, and I was kind of a little time pressed because I wanted to kind of get to the West Coast. So after I got to Phoenix, I pretty much jumped on the expressway and just raced to Yuma because the heat was just really rising up. And anyone who knows anything about riding in the heat knows that at some certain temperature, the what happens is a reverse wind chill factor happens. And basically, the wind no longer cools you; it burns you. It's like riding into a hairdryer. It just gets hot. It can even burn you. So that's what you got to beware of, especially when you're doing that. But I would eventually get the Yuma, and you know, that would be the ride for today.
Woo! The rest stop on the way to Yuma. It is 1:12, or somewhere in that range. It is freaking hot. They have a nice little rest area here, and you can learn about the railroads as you're slowly burning to death.